this call.
I love you guys.
I volunteered her to join us on
Nope.
this call.
No, I love them.
And you guys, please feel free to talk and reach out and, converse with us after you finish eating, Emma.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle, I'll let you start.
Okay, so Teresa, I volunteered. I'll go with that, Teresa. I've been on here a few times, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy you guys. I love helping people. I've had a lot of people help me in the past, so pay it forward's a big thing for me. So this is your last class. I'm correct, right? This is your big day.
Graduating cappers.
Yes, yes. And you guys have had a plethora amount of info thrown at you, tools. And I know when I've taken classes in the past, that binder that everyone should have, or if you don't get it, go back through it and pick out the tools that work for you. Start with that, everything's starting at the beginning. But go back and do that. I've done that. I'll go, hey, I really like that idea. Will it work for me? So use this whole, and I keep touching the book, you guys can't see it, but use this whole book or binder, whatever you want to call it. And if you have questions or say, hey, such and such taught that class, I don't understand what to do here, what would you do? Or if you just need help in general. But now you guys have a ton of information that you can take and use that's provided by KW. Yeah, most places don't have that. I think Teresa and I had that conversation this morning. I started blindly. I didn't have anyone to really say, hey, try this, go here. These are the calls you're supposed to make. I just reached out to friends and hope it worked out. And I didn't even know it's really called Sphere of Influence, but it was people I used to work with. And that's kind of how I got started. I didn't know, and we'll get into it. I didn't know how to plot my goals. I know what I wanted. I want a new boat. I want a bigger house. I want. But making those goals and actually having a plan to get it's two different things. Just remember that. And I want Rome built now. The saying is Rome wasn't built in a day. So start making your goals. And if you have to write them down the night before you go to bed and then check them off the next day, do that. That's what I do. And again, Teresa will probably touch on that some more today, or I will, one of us or both of us. But anyway, congratulations. Thank you for sticking with this class. I think it's a great thing.
Me too. So should we put our slideshow on there?
I can. Let's see if Michelle can share it. Here we go.
Michelle learned how to share.
I do. I've learned a lot, Shalaya. Thank you. All right, let's see. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Can everybody see it? Look, Trey's sitting outside. She's got her shades on.
Oh, Trey, I'm jealous.
Trey, you look cool.
Teresa, if there's something I skipped, just tell me. But I know some of the things we can skip over.
Keeps going along, and then I just want to. So go back a little bit. So you guys, this is something that what we're going to do is everyone that's on this call who is not in my productivity class, I would love for you to join it. That would be, Paul, we haven't seen you. Jennifer, can't see who all's on here. So, but if you're not on there, reach out to me because we're going to go more in depth because we're going to start doing the classes in person. So we're going to go way more in depth on how to do these things because, sometimes whenever you talk about, the 411 and you talk about all these things and you don't always grasp exactly what they are. And I want you to realize that you're normal, like no one grasps them. So go ahead and go one more page, Michelle.
You got it.
So these are the things that we're going to do in productivity. So we're doing it together is we're going to do the contacts and the note cards and, the interviewing successful agents. I want y'all to really focus on that. I was recently interviewed by a younger but very top agent with another company, and just wanting to know, he wanted to know how older people do it. I'm like, thank you so much for that. And it's been in the business, and so get out there, because who you surround yourself with,
Mhm.
successful people,
Yep.
that are around successful people will be more successful. So you need to keep your sphere of people, the way that you want to be. Um, Practicing scripts, we're going to be doing that as well, where we're going to do a 2-hour session in productivity. I know y'all love some scripts. So the thing about scripts is not so that you read them, it's so that you learn them. Hi, Joelle. So you learn them in your own brain. You need to almost be that script. And then the only way you're going to do it is to keep reading it over and over and over again, so they become your words and you don't sound canned. Joelle, I was discussing that after this, we're going to go more in depth in productivity. You're welcome. Y'all please join me in productivity. I can add, hey, Shalaya, can you write down everybody's name just and add them to the productivity? I'm going to send out an email, and I just don't want to miss anyone.
Making a mental note.
And I don't, we don't have the productivity every week. Usually it's going to be once or twice a month. So when we're in there, we may take more time. It's easier sometimes to do more in one day than to try to do 4 different days and juggle everyone's schedules. But we're going to learn how to grow your database. We're just going to do everything in the class. But can y'all please do me a favor? Pick one successful agent and interview them. And the other thing, practice your scripts. Because the more you do, the more they're going to become who you are. All right, we can go past that. Michelle, speak up if you see anything.
I will. We'll
So
skip that.
again, our Ignite tracker, if you guys will actually use this tool and go in, it takes 5 minutes. It will really and truly help you to organize, because if you don't have goals and you don't have a plan and you just get up in the morning and you're like, my phone's not ringing, so I'm going to hang out and I'm just going to read a book, or I'm going to watch TV, or, I'm going to go visit my friend. Well, you can do that sometimes, but you have to have a plan. And the plan needs to start the year before, the month before, or the week before. It doesn't start the day of. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
So, just remember that, if you do nothing, nothing is going to happen. And if you want to make this your business, this is the least expensive business that you can own. You don't have $100,000 in college debt. You don't have to go, you basically can get into the real estate business for, between $200 and $2,500. It's the least expensive business you will ever own.
Mhm.
Move along, move along.
Gotcha.
So add 10 new contacts to your database. Can y'all speak freely on what keeps you from adding 10 people to your database? Let's talk about that. Unless anyone who adds 10 people to their database every day doesn't have to talk. If you haven't added 10 people to your database, then you need to talk, because I think sometimes people get confused as to where those people come from. And, and they can be anyone. I don't care if it's your dentist, your child's teacher, somebody you met at church, somebody you got off of a Facebook lead, someone that you got off of your team lead. If you're with a team, those people will be added to your database. So, and then you need to speak with 10 people. You can't just put them in there and never talk to them. You have to reach out to them. And the other one is write 10 notes. This is my weakness. I'm just going to tell you, I am really bad about writing notes. I don't like to write. So, people are lucky if they get a birthday card from me. I just don't like to do it. People love to get notes. I personally will keep a note that somebody writes me. I mean, y'all write me really sweet notes, and I keep them because they're really important to me. And I can remember a note more than I can words. Who in here writes notes? Who's a good note writer? And, and that is funny because we have like 2 generations here that say that they write notes. I should be in the generation that writes notes, but I don't. I think they're important. The second one, the last one is preview 10 homes if you can't get to 10 homes, and all right, first of all, if you have no business and you're brand new starting out, you do have time to preview 10 homes. Every time I look at a home, I'm like, wow, what a cool property. I learn about it. I learn about the street and the location. Because when someone calls me, because I've been in the business a long time, I can actually, you know, I kind of know what's going on in an area typically. But if you don't know, it doesn't make you valuable. So anyone here that has gone out and looked, we don't even know if we have 10 homes available to look at, but has anyone here gone out and previewed homes? It's a little bit of an
Did one.
did you? Good. It's like of an old school thing, but sometimes when you go preview one and you really like it, that could be your opportunity to go knock on some neighbors' doors and ask them if they know of anyone else in the neighborhood looking to sell. Once you get yourself out of your little comfort zone of your office or your house, it's amazing what can happen because activity breeds activity.
Yep.
Move along. So so here we are. Michelle said that everyone has to do this.
They know, they know, they
Get
know.
our call list together. So I want to talk about something before you do. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, whether you're independent agent or you're on a team. A lot of agents don't like it when they get a land deal. And they're like, well, crap, I don't want to return that land contract. My team doesn't like to claim them. So
I
I
claim
just-
No.
I want to share a little bit about it. The other day it was a $15,000 land lead, and some people were just busy and couldn't do it. But I was like, let me just grab it, So I called the girl up, and I'm like, and you're always like, great, $15,000, do the math. And then in some areas they only charge 3%. They only charge 3% commission. So if you do the math, you're making nothing. So I just chatted with her a little bit. And I asked her, I said, well, what's your goal? Like, what are you looking for the land? Are you just looking for it for investment? You looking to build a home? You looking now? You looking later? And she's like, yeah, we're looking to build a home. And I said, what's your budget? And she's like, well, about 200,000 is what we're approved at. Well, this is another thing of how to switch somebody over. You never switch somebody over if it's a good opportunity for them, but new construction is up 50%. No one needs to build a house right now. So knowing this, I told her, I said, look, materials are up due to COVID. I said, would you consider an existing home? She goes, oh yes, absolutely. So now she's on a campaign for an existing home at 200,000. So it went from a 15% or $15,000 commission to a 200,000. So I just want to tell you that you never know where someone is. You don't know what they're going to end up doing, or you could help them with a custom build.
So Teresa, to add to that, as one of your agents that does not like land, hey, I'm honest. At least I'm honest. You also think about the future. You might get that 15,000 for that person, and then their mom later in life wants to sell or downsize, and they remember, hey, Emma Cole took care of me, and because she did, I'm going to let her sell my mom's $400,000 house. So I try to remember that, even though I don't want those land. So there's just something else to add.
No, I
Hey,
appreciate
can I add something to that?
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you too, with some of that is the knowledge. I mean, it's a process to sell a house, but then to sell a raw piece of land and sound like you have, any education at all as far as what needs to be done in their due diligence. It'd be nice to have somebody to come in and maybe teach a land class.
It would, because land is, and a lot of reason people don't like it is not only the commission, but also because it can be hard. Like it's a learning curve that you have to go through. So, if y'all would like us, I'm making notes. So I need you guys to tell me what you want to learn in productivity. So I'm going to add that on there. Hang on. I'm going to add that on there that we're going to do a land class. What else do y'all want in productivity? What do you want to learn? Mhm.
Teresa, this is Krista.
Hey, Krista.
I love land. It is one of those areas that the only thing that I feel like my very first deal in working on your team when I first started was a land that was lakefront and they were going to build. And I had such a learning curve. But once you know it and you get it, it just makes sense. But one thing I would like to really learn more about is I have a number of people that I'm helping to find builders and things like that after the fact. And I would like to know, how do we get it so that we can get a commission from builders by referring, that kind of thing.
Okay, no, that's a good one. And that will make that kind of like in the land class. That's
Yes.
a great one. Because it can also, I can show you how to quickly price a house, so that if these people are wasting your time.
Right.
Because often they are. So there are a few quick questions and we're going to do that. Let's make that our next productivity class. And we can even, touch on that a little bit of our sales meeting, but there are a few questions you need to ask before you ever get in your car and go look at a piece of land.
Right.
And the first thing is you need to explain to them that it's 20% down for land. The minute you say that, 90% of them are gone. Smith Mountain Lake sometimes can be good because a lot of them are cash buyers, but you just have to realize that you can't, you have to explain it to them, and you can give them a land lender. And the minute you do that, a lot of them are going to boomerang right back into buying an existing home.
Yes.
And they're going to be like, oh crap, I didn't know that. So that will be great. Krista, thank you. Anything else that you guys want to learn while I have everybody on this call? Besides learning how to do scripts.
I think Emma is supposed to give us a Tweety social media, something like that, Instagram, for us people that, just barely make it through Facebook.
Okay.
Sorry, Emma, I love you.
Love you too. I want to teach it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. You're going to teach that one. So, another thing too, this is something that I'm going to do with the team is how to measure and how to price a house. These things are so important because if you don't know how, then either you're going to have a house out there that's too expensive, or you're going to have it, underpriced. Of course, if you underprice it now, you just get multiple bids. But things change in real estate. So we really need to get on that. Is everyone on here, want to make sure that they're invited to productivity? Because like I say, a lot of it will be in person. And I think it's just a good time to have the camaraderie as well. The other thing, since we are having limited inventory, we're starting something at the office that we're working on. And Shalaya, you're going to be part of that, is every time an agent is going to get a new listing. Hey, Shalaya, can you put this on the agenda for our sales meeting too? We are going to alert you guys prior to the listing going live. Because if you know the listing is going live prior, you're going to have more of an opportunity to get your client in there.
Yeah.
Because we have limited inventory. And you know what? Because we're the largest brokerage, it's really easy for us because, we just have so many people to share it with. And we can't just always do it on closed Facebook because not everybody sees it. So we might be doing like a text alert or something like that where it goes out and it's got a picture of the house and the price and that kind of information.
Yep.
I know one other thing I would like, Teresa, is the changes in the coming soon. I've noticed you've been doing some coming soon billboards and for listings. And I was just wondering about, I know there's a 24-hour time frame and how we're supposed to do that the correct way.
So because mine are new construction, they're actually listed as proposed build.
Oh, gotcha.
So when they say coming, so basically it's like, it means it'll be finished soon.
Oh, okay.
And you do have that 24-hour, where you can do that. In RVAR, Michelle, maybe you know it better than I do, but RVAR should be the same as LAR, but they're not, because it's a state law. But the fact that they're allowing coming soon, anyone who belongs to both, you can put it on that one, but you can't put it on your Lynchburg one. Michelle, do you know any guidelines that you cannot do a coming soon in RVAR now?
I don't think it has to be 24 hours. A lot I see are set at like 2 days out. And the reason being is because they require, it's another piece of paper has to be signed and it has to be turned into RVAR. You can't even put a coming soon sign in the yard until you have all that done. They're super strict on that.
But
You know,
they're allowing you
you
to do
can't
it.
share, you can't share it on your Facebook. You know how you used to could just put a picture. If you were at that house that day and you put a picture and go, hey, I got this, 3-bedroom, 2-bath coming, look at the kitchen. You can't even do that. They'll fine you over that nowadays too.
Okay, so they are getting on board, sadly. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
For a while they
that's
weren't.
definitely,
For a
No,
while they weren't.
No, they're on it. Believe me.
Yeah.
okay.
So, because it is a state, and for a while they were still allowing it, but they must have
Yeah.
caught on. I was like, darn.
Yeah.
I thought we had a loophole there.
Now,
No.
can
gonna
we,
go back-
out of curiosity, can we just do it on our own internal Facebook page?
Yes. So you in your own brokerage, you are allowed to let people know what you have coming.
Okay,
So that's what we're getting ready to start is if we're going to start it with a sales meeting, but we want to let all the agents know that, if 2 weeks before something is coming, put it out there, and that way, if you send it to Shalaya can send it out like a daily alert. These listings are going live this week, if you have anyone. Because by the time they get live, you don't even have time to tell your client. What if you have an out-of-towner client and they don't even have time to get here?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to make that work
excellent.
and make it a little bit different because we have so many listings in our office we need to know. And Stephen Akery's team and some of the teams that do a lot of listings, they're on board to start submitting those. And we're doing the same with just everyone throughout the office. So anything internal, but nothing external.
Yep.
We're going to go back to that, to our call list. Michelle, you want to go to our next page?
Yep.
I'm going to have you do the call list for them. So here again, this is where you are. It's leads, appointments, agreements, contracts, close. If you never, ever call the lead, you are never going to get the appointment, the agreement, the contract, or the close date. So I would like for us to talk about what we're going to do before our productivity, which I will send out and get that on the schedule. What are you going to do? Are you going to get your head in the game? And this is your decision. It's your business. But if you don't do it, nothing is going to happen. So tell me, can people, like anyone here that wants to speak up, tell me what delays you from trying to do your daily calls? Everyone should be doing some kind of networking for 1 to 2 hours a day. I do it and I am very, very busy. So tell me what holds you up. And I know when you're out showing property all day long, that can hold you up a little bit. But while you're out, if you're comfortable with it, you can always make phone calls, in between showings. Unless you're in a rural area, it's not that easy. I know that with me, even when my clients are looking around, sometimes, I don't like to be just right up their butts the whole time. I give them a little bit of space to talk. I'll send out 5 text messages while people are looking around a house if I'm alone. If I'm sitting there waiting for someone to show up, again, I'll send them out. You can't always get on the phone because if you do, that's kind of rude. But don't just sit there and do nothing. Pick up your phone and send these things out, because just saying hi to someone, you don't even have to ask for anything. Just say hello to them, remind them that you're there, but do it with a purpose. So what is it that keeps you guys from making your phone calls? And be honest, like it's not, I completely understand that everybody just gets busy and the day goes by and you're like, crap, I didn't make my calls. Or it's fear factor.
For me, it's fear of new people. And I'm not scared of anything normally, but I am great at calling people that I'm following up with or friends. And I'm even better when I just go into stores and I just talk to people that way and make the connection that way. I went and I picked up straw at Home Depot and I got a client. You just talk to people about what's going on and it works. But a phone call just to get on the phone, it's horrible for me to just call blindly and use those scripts.
Well, I do understand that a little bit, Krista, because when you're on the phone, it's hard for people to see your expression. And like, you're such a bubbly, friendly person that they see your smile and your eyes light up the second they see you. Well, when that happens, it makes people like relax a little bit. And if that is the one that bothers you, the one thing you might have to do is try to figure out what to say the minute you call to grab them,
Right.
or to get out and maybe do some door knocking. And I want to talk about the door knocking a little bit, because back in the day when, there were so many listings, you couldn't even you're like, I can't even handle how many listings we have in our market. Those of you that are newer probably don't remember that day, but it used to be, where we have 50 listings, we used to have 5,000. I mean, we just had so many houses on the market. Door knocking made you feel kind of stupid. But now every shift of the market gives you another tool to get out there and do something. If we keep saying that everyone needs to choose their neighborhood. And if you go out there on a Saturday afternoon or an evening during the week, all you have to do is knock on that door and ask them, look, we just had 3 houses sell in your neighborhood. We've got buyers that missed out on multiple offers. Do you have any intention of selling your home, anytime soon? And then they're either going to say yes or no, or they're going to be like, oh, I never thought about it. That's your opportunity to tell them that you'll go ahead and get them, a market analysis. And then if they're not, say, have you heard any of your neighbors discussing it? And because you're giving them a value, you're not trying to list their house for you. You're actually bringing them value to sell their house for top dollar. So you're kind of not that irritating door knocker. So anytime you approach someone, you have to have value, and you got to think about the value before you get up to the door. Be like, okay, what am I doing here? And it's the same thing with making a phone call. You have to think about your plan before you make the call. And Krista, I agree with you. Sometimes when they're in a hurry, it's hard because they're rushed and you feel like you're bothering them. But a lot of times I think we get nervous as people and we blunder through it and we never get to our value system. So.
And I do find that one-on-one, I can definitely do door knocking far better than just getting on the phone and picking it up. Now I do use the text, and I do get good responses with text. I learned that one at Bold.
Because you're not feeling like you're bothering people.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't feel as intrusive. And typically personalities who don't like people bothering them at home it'll be harder for you to make that call, because you feel like you feel like they feel like you do, which is not always the case.
That's right, because I'm like that.
I know.
Us alone.
but you're very social when you're actually out. And that's
Right.
why it doesn't bother you to do that. It's just that when you're home. So I just want y'all to think about it and internalize it, because anything in our life that's going on, no matter how good, bad, or indifferent, typically it has something to do with us and not the other person.
Mhm.
And so you have to look inward. And so, all right, I'm off
Thank
my
you.
soapbox.
For the script practice, can we also add like a door knocking script in there? Because I've done door knocking. I feel like I just kind of shied away from getting to like the real, questions and real. It was just kind of like a casual stop by.
Yes. So, I will, hang on, I'm gonna make a note and I'm gonna write one for what I say when I do it. And it's gonna be similar to what you do on your regular script, but door knocking is a little bit different. So yeah, who's talking? Is this Joelle?
Oh yeah, that's Joelle. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, your face disappeared on there. So I will put that together and get everyone a script on it. And, and then we're going to add you too as well, Joelle, to our productivity. I wasn't sure if we had added you to the list just so that, you are available. Because if we do it together, I mean, I would be game for us to go and into someplace like Cornerstone where the houses are really close together and, or Windhurst or something like that. And literally caravan. They're going to think we're church people. They're going to be like, hey, they're coming to invite us to church. So,
Yeah.
but I think it would be fun, because it's just like, it's different whenever you're doing it with others, and you're like, oh crap, let me get out of this car and do this.
Yeah.
I mean, but I was sitting in the car with Trey one time and she was like going to look at a house for a client who asked her to go look at it. And she's like, I'm going to go knock on these 2 doors. I was like, oh my God, now I can't get her out of the house. I'm like, I was in her text, I'm leaving. Let me know when I can pick you back up. She's in there socializing with them, but
Hey, you got to be careful with the little the widows that live by themselves because they'll talk to you forever.
I know. I'm like, crap, she's not coming back to the car. But just get out there, because once you do it, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. You're going to be like, all right, I got it. And so we can write something. We can put something together and just do that. And most people aren't going to be mean to you. They're just going to, you're offering them a service. You're just like, hey, I've got buyers for your house, and you're not making it up. That's why, to me, it was really hard when the market was bad, because I didn't have buyers for their house. Are you kidding? Their neighbor couldn't sell their house. So you almost felt like, like I feel funny if I feel like I'm lying to someone, but right now you're not lying to them. There are multiple buyers everywhere waiting for someone's house. So let's go to the next one.
All right, this will be your video. Give me a
Day in the life of a new agent. Is that what it says?
It is.
Oh, of a mega agent.
All right. Well, it should
I
come
haven't
on.
seen this video. Oh, look. Oh, nope.
Oh, they'll lose you. Hold on.
No, we see your face. I'm excited to see Michelle do this because I didn't know how. That's why she's doing it.
Well, I got my share, but it's not coming up.
Laya.
Hold on.
Just so y'all know, Shalaya is joining us and she's on vacation. So she basically has worked her entire vacation. So now I have to give her a vacation for her vacation.
All right, hold on a second.
Oh, thanks for being here, Shalaya.
I'll just share it, Michelle. You can stop your screen share.
Yeah, I've shared it twice.
We put you on the spot.
No, I practiced. Is it up?
No. Oh, wait.
I got it.
Shalaya took it. All right. Don't anybody go to the bathroom and watch this. Sit still.
Hi, I'm Linda McKissick, and I'm going to talk to you about an ideal day in the life of a mega agent. First thing in the morning, I have to start with getting up and getting my head right. What I've discovered is if I get my head there, my body will show up. So that typically means getting up in the morning, always exercising, getting the blood flowing, and second, reading something either spiritual or motivational or listening to an audio tape. Jim Rohn happens to be my favorite, so he's always in one of my CD players somewhere so that I can plug him in easily. Just listening to people that are inspirational, because I think all of us need hope every day to go do what we have to do. As we get to the office, the most important thing is, because every business is a lead generation business, is what does that lead generation look like? For me, because I'm at the 7th level, one of the most important things is what key people do I need to talk with that day? And that always pops up first. Do they have what they need to succeed? And then the next thing is, who are the people we need to be doing business with? How have I communicated with them lately? What do I need to do now? Is it a phone call today? Is it a drip campaign? Is it an invitation to something? Looking for how do I communicate with those people that we want to do business with, and how do I keep furthering that relationship and moving it along? I've discovered my business energy is highest earliest in the morning, earliest in the day, and earliest in the week. So I front load my week, Monday being the most difficult day with all the contacts and all the lead generation that I need to do early in the morning. And that frees me up to have the afternoon to kind of just work on plans or projects. Typically what I find is through the week, Monday and Tuesday are heavier, and Wednesday, and by Thursday and Friday it's pretty more entrepreneurial of just off the cuff. And in the evening on Mondays or the through the week is, it's always about family, because the reason we do what we do is so that we can build a great life and build great memories with our family. So our kids are very important to us. We're very involved. It's what are we going to do as a family? What do we need to do as a family? When's dinner? Where are we going to go? Or what are we going to eat? And that kind of rejuvenates me. One of my philosophies is the purpose of business is to fund life. And to me, life is all about family. And as a mega agent, your day might look different. But the key things we have to always remember is certain parts of our day have to look the same. So you might want to think about, where's my head? How can I get my head in the right place? And then we always want to remember that every business has to be lead generating. So what does your lead generation look like? Is it earliest in the morning? Is it earliest in the day? And then we always have to know that somewhere in the day we have to spend that quality time with family, because we don't want to win at business to lose at family. Thanks for watching KW Connect, and make it a great day.
Well, darn, that would I could watch that just to get me inspired in the morning before I start. So does anyone have anything to say about what we just listened to?
I love what she said, except I'm
do.
not going to be exercising.
So I was thinking, if I would just get my butt moving and not plant myself on my sofa, which is my work spot, if I would just get moving and listen to something inspirational while I walk or while I do something, maybe it would even pump me up, and make me more energized. But, I did get, yeah, I know, Krista, I'm like, oh, I'm shameful because I'm not working out in the morning.
Hey, you know what? I like the part where she talked about you get your body in motion, then you get your head in gear, and that is a good idea, just to go out and take a quick walk around your neighborhood or something and just think positive thoughts too.
Yep.
It is, and listen to something
Walk to the
inspirational.
coffee pot.
But
I've been doing that every day. I get up in the morning. The first thing I do is I check my email, and then I either go to the gym and then I feel good about everything else that follows. So then I jump to my computer, I make my phone calls, I figure out where I am on my pending contracts and stuff like that. And sometimes I have to start real estate first, and then in the middle of the day, I do my workout. But I feel like every single time I exercise, I'm so motivated to do more work. You know what I mean? It really does work. Once you get your body moving, everything is moving.
And I think it gets your head in the right place. I'm saying that from past experience, not today. Because, and if you go work out and then you listen to an inspirational tape, whether it's something like a podcast or something that, gets you motivated, because then you're like, I can do that. And half the reason why we don't do what we're supposed to do is because we get out of, we just get used to not doing it. And, and once you get out there and you forget, you honest to goodness are like, oh, I was supposed to do my 9 to 11 calls. And the reason they say to do your morning calls is because that is your most inspirational time of the day. If you are at a 3 o'clock slump and you call a client, do you think your client is going to feel your energy at that point? They're just not going to. They need to feel you pumped up in the morning. And if you're an evening person, you need to do it before you, again, go into that next slump.
I have
I know, Jennifer, you're good at working out. You are.
Well, the thing is because right now I'm at a complete overhaul of Jennifer. So there are several things that I'm doing. Real estate is only one of the things that I'm doing to try to focus more on me as a person. So working out and my diet is really important to me also. And I think as women, it's important for us to remember that we have to make ourselves a priority and put ourselves first. So sometimes I work all day and I don't work out until the evening, but either way it gets done. And because I've learned it took me a long time, but now that my kids are grown, I learned that, I've been neglecting the most important person in my world, and that's me. So I
Mhm.
think that's important for us to do.
You know, Jennifer, I think that's really smart because if you do something for yourself, whether it's working out or listening to a tape or whatever it is, and you get that little bit of happiness in you, then you are going to project better with the people you're talking to because you've kind of like taken care of yourself.
Absolutely. It does come through. It absolutely does.
No, I like that. Thanks for sharing it. You know.
Jennifer, I
Does
now
that
watch
mean
up
we're
the
supposed to
ground
go
you
work
walk
out
on.
now? What was that, TJ or PJ?
Yeah.
Not
Then
TJ.
I now I wash up the ground she walks on. Hey, I read every morning my mantra book. I'm
That's
starting to
good.
give these to clients and people in my lives because I read this every day and I'm on my second read and I bought a bunch and I'm gonna put my business card in. I had to look at my bookmark, my business card, so
Oh,
and
that's a
put
great idea.
this was given to me by somebody and they signed it. And then just because, especially for women, it inspires and empowers your life with positive affirmation. It's not religious. It's not, so this way nobody's going, one way or another. It just is helping and it's like constructive, I've like, there's a devotionals and some I've gone through that are like depressing as all get out. But this, it's constructive. And so, and everybody I've given it to who has bought it loves it. So it's a very good thing to, give to somebody and they'll remember that. And now I'm in the habit of reading it every day. And, really it does help in your mindset. So I may not be, jumping around like Jennifer and I'll have to have her be my coach to jump around. I'm in training for the concert in a couple of months. So I definitely need that help. But that is a mindset thing that really does help. So yeah, I
No,
know,
thank
Michelle,
you.
I'm working on it, baby.
I like that because you know what, whatever it is, whether, I like my mom has read the Bible every morning before she gets out of bed from the time I was a little girl and can remember. And, and then it's an hour. Like, I'm like, geez, mom, we're ready to eat, where are you? That's the kid thing. But yet she has this positive spirit all the time. And I think it's because, where one of us might wake up and have a bad day, she's gone in there and she's really had that quiet prayer. And I think what PJ is saying is it's very similar to that. She gets into a good, headspace.
Well, body,
So-
mind, and spirit all work together. So
It does.
it's a really important part.
It
Yeah.
does. And you're right, Jennifer. It's like we're always missing one of those three parts.
Right.
So you have to, work on it. And I used to listen to like real hard rock to get me pumped up. It's a sports thing I started, but now I'll put a podcast on when I shower instead of just, Alexa, play, TED Talk or whatever.
Mhm.
And it does. So then after you get out of the shower, you're getting dressed. You're like, okay, I'm gonna call this person. I'm gonna go here. Or I'm gonna get my butt out of pajamas and go to the office where I'll do something. But you're right. Those three things are very important.
I think, with any of us, like some people would be like, oh, I've already done Bold before. I've already done Igniter, or I've already done productivity. But have you noticed it doesn't matter how long you do it? Every time you do it, it just reinforces what you know and it puts
Yes.
it back in the front of your mind. It's not because you don't know how, after a couple years, but it's the same with me. Every time I pay attention to it, I'm like, oh wow, I haven't been doing it that way. I've been doing it my way. So I just, and I want to take you back to Michelle, do you have page 11? Is it you or Shalaya that has this?
I do.
The pearls of wisdom. I want you guys, I think this is very important. Is it on the next page or is this?
Well, it starts there, but if you go to,
Oh, okay. Where'd it go?
we don't have every page we have, Teresa. Are you going to the
Yeah,
energy
the
and
part,
focus?
yeah, this is in your
So-
mission.
It's on 14 in your manual. I
Oh,
believe.
okay. Is it 14 on this one?
Are you talking about the maintain energy and focus?
No, this is the pearls of wisdom.
Pearls of
this-
Wisdom's on page 11. Yep,
Yeah,
they'll have it in their manual.
Okay, you guys, this is really important. So in your mission, your task was seeking out 5 different people and asking them 2 questions. It does not have to be someone in real estate either. It can be someone who's successful at what they do. I'd like for one to be a realtor. And, and if there's somebody at our office that you want me to bring into productivity for us to ask these questions to them, I'm happy to do that too. Because, the first one is, what is your advice on getting into effective production as quickly as possible? This is a question, because when you ask someone that who has been a successful realtor, so when I moved here, in 2004, I remember looking around when I decided to get in real estate, and I was like, who is like the most amazing, awesome, cool person that I've ever met that's in real estate? And I looked and I looked and I looked through their stuff, and it was Jane Blickenstaff. Jane was just like I just like idolized her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And she was a little grumpy too, because if you're new, she can be she seemed grumpy to me at the time. But as I've gotten to know her through the years, my respect for her is huge. And I told myself, I said, I am going to be Jane Blickenstaff one day. And my goal was to beat her numbers. And it wasn't because I didn't like her, it's because I did like her. I wanted to succeed at her level. Do I know everything Jane knows? No. Am I Jane? No. But I was able to exceed her numbers. And when I did, I was like, it just made me feel good because she's amazing. And so I want y'all to look at someone, that's out there in the industry and say, you know what, I just want to, and sometimes it's just the value of their life. It can be the fact that they walk, they walk in God's shoes, and you see that oozing from them when they're out there. And typically it's not what people say, it's how they act. It can be something that, they're really fit and they're healthy, and you're like, I want to do that. That person's a runner, I want to do that. So it doesn't have to be about business, but who you follow in life and who you surround yourself with is who you will become. So make sure, if you don't want to work 70 hours a week, don't pick the person that works 70 hours a week. If you want to work 30 hours a week, pick the person that's successful that works 30 hours a week, if that makes sense. What is your secret to longevity and prosperity in the real estate business? Ask these questions, because, it's like people are always like, why did you join, why did you create the franchise for Keller Williams here? Because I looked at Gary Keller and I did my homework, and the man is amazing and he's smart. And is he perfect? No, but he's done some amazing things. And in a very short period, he became the largest real estate company in the world. So, always look at those people and try to emulate and find out what they do, but keep your own spirit. So, if you guys, would y'all like for me to have someone come in and choose someone to talk to, during the productivity? I mean, I'm happy to do that if y'all want to do it as a group.
I think that would be a great idea.
And, and we can kind of figure out who we want to ask these questions, and, I'll have to put my thinking cap on too.
Hey, Teresa.
Uh-huh.
When you're not doing a class, maybe it'd be a good idea for you to do something with us, given a little bit of your bio and how you got started. I mean, I literally, guys, I sent Teresa a text message last night and said, I aspire to be half the agent that you are. She inspires me every day, and you amaze me with what you can get done in a day's time. And, maybe somebody would just like to hear a little bit about you and how you got going and what you did.
I'm glad you said that, Trey, because I was thinking Teresa would be a perfect example.
Right. And I'm happy to tell my story, because
Teresa's my hero.
Aw, thank you. Trey was out walking like 15,000 steps whenever she said that. So, and I was sitting on my butt. Just want to let everybody know. But no, I'm happy to do that and just to share my journey, because it's there's so much to everyone's journey, as to where you start and where you end up in life. And I'm happy to do that. So I will save this sheet out, and I will be happy to do it. And we can just have a little session on how we can all grow. But I want y'all to remember that everyone has their different level of what their success means. And for our next one too, maybe you need to sit down and do your goals. You know, because I think the goal setting is important. And, you know, and how many people here, is Shalai on here still? She can't get away from us. Look, she's got herself blocked off. How dare she goes on vacation? What is wrong with her? So has everyone, who has not done the KPA? Joelle, have you done it? I'm sure you did it because you're with
Is that
Cheryl.
like a personality thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that.
I did it, but I need, I don't remember my results.
So I think, so I want to make sure we have everyone's KPA when we come in. Emma, can you take this note for me? I want to make sure everyone's had it. And, you know, Emma, you can get with Shalaya and find out or write down everybody that's on here, because I want us to maybe as a group setting, maybe do a short version of what it is, because it's how we get to know each other. And, you know, and the KPA is so amazing, and it just tells so many things about you. It's not everything about you, but it's pretty accurate. You know, it can even tell when you're an introverted extrovert, you know, so you might be like, oh, I'm an extrovert. And then you get home and you're so tired, you feel like somebody sucked the life out of you. Well, typically it means that you're an introverted extrovert. So you can do your extrovert, you know, when you're out there, and then you get home and you're like, I need to unwind. So, you know, I just think it would be a fun thing for everyone to do it together.
Teresa, we used to do that in career services, something similar. And I will tell you, it's such a great team building situation to work with, because it helps people understand each other's strengths, and also knows that, okay, if this is that kind of person, talking to them in the evening is not a good idea, you know, if you're an introvert.
Yeah, exactly. Because your
So
soul is
just
split.
learn about
Yeah.
people, and it helps.
Well, good, Krista. Then you can help with that.
Hey, Teresa, what's the biggest difference in the KPA and the DISC profile?
So the disc is going to be faster. And we could do the disc too, just because we have a class and we're going to have to get through everyone, because it's kind of fun to see. Like, I don't know if everybody's done the disc, but it's like the DISC, and it's, you know, D is dominant, you know, the I is outgoing. And then you have steady and compliant. And then you'll have one person will be really steady and compliant and outgoing, but they're not real dominant, or they'll be dominant and they don't have any of the outgoing part in them, you know? And so it's interesting to look at what everyone's gifts and talents are with it. So Trey, that is a good idea. It might be a quicker one to go through because it's a quicker read.
Well, also the reason I said it is one of my GRI courses, they use the DISC profile when you're meeting with clients, and you kind of try to sum your clients up based on the DISC profile as far as how you're supposed to communicate with them. So I can share some of that too.
No, that's awesome, because you are exactly right. Like, I've never used it on a client, but I've wanted to just explain to them, because, you know, I'm going to give you an example. When I first met Krista Layton and Christy, they were clients. And if I had had that, I would have realized, like, that Christy is an engineer. So you can imagine, you know, what engineers are like. And they're very detail oriented and structured. And, you know, and I remember she's like, why is it when I send you an email, you don't respond right away? But then she didn't understand me, because she didn't know I'm out driving for 8 hours a day. You know, I'm driving a car. I can't respond to an email. So if those things were used, it would have been so much better, because obviously we're friends. So it's easy for me to have that conversation. But when you're not friends, you don't know what their expectations are. Some people want a lot of communication, and some people really don't want you bothering them. And some people want text, some people want email. Now, the one thing I do always ask my clients is, what is your preferred method of communication? And that should be the first question you ask, but you also want to know how often. So Trey, that's a great idea. And maybe DISC is the fastest and easiest way.
Well, also too, I know I have a habit of talking really fast when I'm with people, and it teaches you how like some people need, you know, like slower communication or you know, less details. Some people, like you were talking about Christy being an engineer, they want more details about the house. But you know, you can kind of sum up your clients using the basic principles of the DISC just to figure out the best way to communicate and connect with them.
No, that's actually a good idea. Has anyone ever used that? Hey, why don't we test it? So we have unlimited access. We pay for it monthly. You can send that disc out to any clients that you want, and maybe take a few clients that you're close to and try it with them first. Would y'all like access to?
Oh, and then some of it too is maybe, I mean, I don't know if every client would want to still, you know, do the DISC profile, but if you understand the DISC profile as an agent yourself, and that not everybody is your personality type, and if you know the 4 quadrants of that, then it just makes it easier to communicate with your clients.
Yeah, but we might have some that would want to do it, you know, that they just, you know, just explain to them that you want to be able to help them, you know, serve them better. But yeah, I do understand that. Maybe we can go through some of the personality traits of people.
I will say, Trey, you and I have the same problem. We like to talk a lot. And one thing that I find is I've got to really take a look at people and really stop doing the talking and do more listening, because I can read them, because I do know those kinds of things. But I have to catch myself and retrain myself. So this will help.
I had a lady on Easter that I was with, and we were chatting about the pros and cons of the house, and she was on the fence with it. She's retiring and moving to our area, doesn't know the area. And I finally said, you know what, instead of me running my mouth, I said, let's get in our cars and you just get away from me and let me get away from you. And then you think about it. She goes, well, I'm probably going to need like overnight to think about this. I said, well, we can't do that. There's 5 offers on the table. So I left her, and about 45 minutes after I left her, she said, can we meet at your office and write an offer up? I want the house. And so sometimes I think we give, like, I'm guilty of giving too much information and talking too much when really it's their decision, you know?
You know, you can actually talk somebody out of a sale by talking too much and not listening enough.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a weakness of mine, I think.
You know, and so you just have to really think about it, you know, and sometimes like when they're telling you something, you want to tell them something so badly. You're like, oh, I want to tell that, but they don't care.
Right.
You know? They really don't care. They don't care how old your kids are. I mean, you can tell them a little bit, but when you see their eyes glazed over, you know, like you're just going to have to let it go. And
I have learned a lot about that, because Christy half the time is not listening to me.
That's hilarious. You're like, if her eyes are glazed over, you're like, so are my clients.
You've seen it. Her eyes will glaze in a second. So yeah, I paid attention with my clients because of that.
That's funny. So I will do the pearls of wisdom. I'm happy to share a little bit of a story. And I don't know, like, I just, you know, I don't want to bore anyone to death with my story, but I promise that I will.
You always think you're going to bore people, but you are amazing and very interesting, and you can teach us so much.
I'll teach you the successes and the failures. And that's just it. Like, I'm always happy to tell you the things that don't work.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
I know those too. All right, on to the next. Michelle. Okay, I guess we can keep going because we're going to do that in productivity.
You want to skip the make it happen?
Hang on a minute. What is the make it happen? Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I thought that was the pearls of wisdom.
That's where we're at. Make it happen.
Okay.
The 4 things to make it happen.
Okay. Everybody listening to me, y'all cannot be doing anything but listen to this, because this is so important. And I think you need to take this out of your book and you need to put it on your mirror, because if you don't, it's going to go right outside of your, you know, I'm going to put it on my mirror.
And you need to read that first sentence like 100 times. I love it.
Here, read it for us, Michelle.
I will read it. I underline and start it because I'm a nerd. So it says, anyone can succeed, but not everyone will. Why? The ones who do succeed have focus, the ability to concentrate their thoughts and actions on the most important task.
So how do you create a personal plan and make the process your focus? So again, every day, every week, every month, and every year, this needs to be your top focus. Obviously, your every year is going to be a bigger and longer process. Follow a big plan built from a big model and make the implementation process my focus. Aim high and don't allow my goals to be ceiling to my achievement. Do not aim too low so I don't stop trying once I hit my goal. Make the daily 10-4 activities my focus. Time block the daily 10-4 to protect the time to accomplish these, which gives me focus. So you have to time block your day. And if you want to play for 6 hours a day, and that's all you want to do, you have to put the other 2 hours time blocked into doing this. I'm going to warn you. If you play for every day for a week for 6 hours, but you take the 2 hours to do what this says, what's going to happen is your playtime is going to be diminished because you're going to be like, oh crap, now I only get 4 hours to play because now I'm busy because I have business. And then it's going to stop there. And then you're going to get to the end. You're going to be like, oh, now I've got to time block my free time, which is my weakness. Okay. I'll admit that is my weakness. And I think a lot of it's because I like it, you know, and so it's kind of like my hobby. So if you, if you can't get your head wrapped around an 8-hour day or a 10-hour day, or just wrap it around a 2-hour day and make those phone calls and make them worth it and make them worth your plan. It's like baby steps, because what's going to happen is it will happen on its own. But if you find every reason under the sun why to do something besides your job, and real estate is a job, it is a job, it's not a hobby, so you're going to have to focus on that. How do you time block to get your focus? I must practice time blocking and turning into a key productivity business habit. Time blocking keeps me focused, free of distractions, and doing what I've committed to. I need to take 2 to 4 hours of focused effort to accomplish what I need to do. It's important for the people around me to understand what I'm doing and not interrupt me or allow others to interrupt me. The reward from daily and focused time blockage is blocked lead generation. It's huge. Okay, I'm going to use Joan as an example. Unless Joan is showing property, obviously, Joan, you work well at the office. That's your thing. Like, that's what you do. But you go to the lake office, and Joan, unless she is out with a client, is going to be in that office working. I've never walked in there and seen Joan picking her butt. Never seen Joan playing on her phone, watching movies. When I go in there, Joan has paperwork around her computer up, and she's working every single time. So, and Joan does a lot of real estate. And, she was the one agent who was able to get the luxury division with Keller Williams. We had one agent, it was Joan, because she sold enough in that high-end volume. So I just want to tell you that if Joan wasn't doing that, she would not have the business that she has. It is a habit. It's like if you have to drink 5 cups of coffee every day to get going, and it becomes a habit, and then you're like, great, my stomach hurts now, I got to go down to 1 cup of coffee. You got to get a new habit. So they're just habits in life. You have to create the habit of working every day. Sorry, Joan, I had to use you for a minute, but I'm telling you, if you go by there, you're going to see that Joan is there. How do you use accountability to keep your focus? Long-term focus brings long-term results, and staying focused is difficult. I need to acknowledge the limits of my ability to focus and choose carefully what I need to focus on, and then find ways to help maintain the focus at a high level over time. I use the 411 to bring accountability to my business life. I also rely on accountability coaches, teams, and partners. So I am happy to be, your accountability coach. we can use each other in the room to be accountability coaches. Because it is human nature to not, you know, when you're an independent contractor. So it's not like you're at a job and you're, you know, clocking in. You don't have anybody standing over there. So you have to make your own self accountable. Let's talk a little bit about this, guys, about where your struggles might be with this, because we're going to go on to the next one after that.
For me, it's really hard for me to hold myself accountable. I'm a natural procrastinator. So for me, I have to force myself to do the hard thing first. Oh, and everything I do in life, I always tell myself, do the hard thing first. Otherwise, I'll just never do it.
That's smart. Yeah, get that. And they even say that with lead generating, because I mean, naturally, that's the hardest thing in our business. So if you get that out of the way in the mornings and then you're showing property in the evening, you've done your hardest work for the day.
So,
and I'll tell you guys, I have a ton of weaknesses with this, because, you know, I worked for a family business for 23 years and had to be there at 8:30 and work till 6 or 7 at night. And I made my salary. And then when somebody's, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're a little tired, or, you know, you don't want to do that. I mean, you have to kind of force yourself. And I mean, Teresa will tell you, I mean, I've got major weaknesses with it. You know, I like to go show property and sell houses. And when I get busy, that's when I feel good about myself.
but what happens is a vicious cycle where, you know, if you don't do it, you know, then you're kicking yourself and so Joan, can you share with us what you do to make yourself accountable and how you get up every day and go in that office and work?
You know, this is going to sound so corny, but I love real estate. I love being a realtor. It sounds really stupid, but I really have tried in the last couple of years for my focus to be calling my clients X number of times every quarter, touching them in various ways. And that's really my focus right now. I don't pay for leads. I've never wanted to pay for leads. And I just really feel that I've got enough contacts in my database that if I do it right, I should be able to really enjoy it every single day, make phone calls to people I love. And lead gen is huge to me. So I do try and do at least 4 hours a day in a variety of different ways. I'm trying to get command as part of that. That's a huge deal, but that's how I love setting up lunches for clients. It's kind of like part of my fun quality time, just doing one-on-ones with clients, you know, coffee, lunch, whatever, to touch base and see them in person. I do a lot of that.
See, and I think that's why they're loyal to you, you know, and because you do give your own time, you give Joan to people, and it makes them loyal. So I appreciate that, because I do see it. And if you're not buying leads, it just shows everyone that you can work your sphere.
I have to tell you a funny story, and I think I told Michelle this yesterday, but I gave to my winery clients on her birthday an aqua vincilator and a red vincilator with my name slammed all over it, you know, from the Cutco guy.
I love that.
Oh my God. So anyway, what happened, and it was on Facebook, if anyone was on Facebook saw it, my guy is on vacation in Jekyll Island or somewhere, and he put my little vincilator on the beach and put it all over Facebook, sent it to me, and it said, Joan's at the beach.
Oh, that's so cute. I didn't see it. I'm about to go dig for it.
I woke up to that, whatever day it was, Tuesday or something, and I just started laughing because it's the cutest thing I personally ever seen from a client. And I just thought it was hilarious.
It is a beautiful advertisement. I mean, you could pay for that advertisement. It's gorgeous.
I need to go back in and see it now.
Did you see it? You saw it, Jennifer, right?
Yeah, I did. And I was like, where did she get this postcard made? And it was not a postcard. It was just, her client literally took the cup and set it on the sand, and it's perfect.
That is so cute. You know what's funny is you ought to make some cards out of it.
I think
it really should.
That is adorable. I'll go in and look at it.
It's pretty fun. It made my day.
PJ, did you walk away? I had a question for PJ. When she comes back, remind me if y'all see her little face get on there.
Anyway,
I'm
I'll stop,
here.
I'll stop
I'm here.
talking.
I'm
So
here.
I'd like to see that though, Joan. Send me a picture of it.
I will.
wanted to
Yeah.
ask PJ the same thing as PJ's been in the business. How long have you been in business, PJ, in real estate?
Give or take 18 years.
So-
I've taught Joan everything she knows, but that's okay. It's a big secret, right, Joan?
You're my mentor.
So
Between
PJ,
you
what
and
do
I,
you do?
baby.
Tell me what you do to motivate.
What do I
yourself.
do? Well, well, that's a loaded question there. Besides pole dancing, no. I'm utilizing all, of course, social media efforts. I interact, and I find that, because, and that's being honest, I'm not in it just for the money. I really feel accomplishment, and my clients know that by helping and caring for their needs. Because, and it's brought up, I think Krista too, is, I think all of us probably with our personalities have a tendency just to talk about ourselves. So, and I have to be aware of that too. But listening to what they have to say and their needs, and then trying to think out of the box to help fulfill that in one way or another. But like I enjoy, you should see my loaded office here with all the marketing materials. I'm big on giving out things like the red bags, the chapsticks, the pins. I just bought Post-it notes too, and just a slew of things. And I'm out in a lot of business in Bedford, and some Vinton businesses have asked me to come in there. I'm now the, I guess, only realtor to advertise for the Fraternal Order of Eagles now, and sponsorships, and apparently the Moose Lodge. I got that going for me. But like next Wednesday, I'm doing a luncheon for the like first responders and out at Rucker Road Village Family Physicians, about 40 people I'm doing lunch for, and there wherein I'll give my bags. I do
nice.
a lot of gift card giveaways. Buy them all lunch, and then and in turn, I'm trying to sell across the street the Rucker Road lots, and hopefully to Centra. So, trying to network and remember I put the billboard up and I had the photo thing. I tried to bring together community, like who likes what best. So then when they drive by, they go, oh, I picked that out, or oh, I saw it before, or try to bring other people in to like have a say so or something like that, and I think that gives you touchability. So I try to almost every week trying to do something in businesses. And then I'm going to be interviewed, I think it's the 22nd. I'm a member too of Fem City in Roanoke. I think I'm a member of about everything there is out there. But with Fem City, I've been a member for a while. And there's a girl out here at the lake who actually just had a ribbon cutting today. I was unfortunately not able to make it. No, Joan knows her now, Jay Bond. So I've been working with her, and she's interviewing me in a couple weeks. Then I have the Eagles opening, but just a lot of, bigger events that I'm sponsoring and are coming about. But yeah, and I think even though the market's kind of funky, concentrate on what other realtors are not doing.
Yeah,
Farming, everything.
what I'm hearing is that you and Joan both give back to the community. And it's not all what you're taking, it's what you're giving back. And, so
And I
remember
think people
that.
genuinely see if you care or not,
Yeah, they do. And it is to genuinely care. Thanks for sharing that. So I don't have y'all all afternoon, and we can graduate. Michelle.
Yes.
You want to read the number 4 and 5 for us?
Yep, I'll do it. All right, so 4, how do you make sure your environment supports your focus? Which is tough if you have a family, trying to do everything. So let me read you this. My environment builds me up and supports me. I am the gatekeeper to my world, and I control environmental issues. Physical environment, I will create a physical environment that is conducive to productivity. And I wrote KW beside this next sentence. People environment, I will surround myself with people who energize me and who are in synergy with my goals, because I really do think KW does a great job of that, especially I don't know what you'd be called, Teresa. Are you my leader? Are you my mentor? you my personal, I call you.
Right.
You know,
Your
I mean,
mentor.
right. But it's everything. And I do really, really think, and I'm not just saying it because I get to help with this class and I've drank a lot of Kool-Aid, but I really do think KW supports our agents. I'm pretty sure I could call you at any time. I mean, and say, hey, I got this problem, or can you help me this? Or, you know, my productivity is not where I need to be. And Joan's a huge one. I call her a lot too. I'm glad she doesn't charge me by the hour because I do ask her a lot of questions too. But, you know, I really do think that you said earlier who you're surrounded with, you know, helps you. And obviously, you know, you want your same thing at home. You want your family to support you and understand that some days you can't just play 6 hours like you were saying, Teresa. You got to have those 2 hours to do your work if you want to succeed. Number 5, how do you keep your energy to maintain your focus? I think we all have problems with this, you know, having that energy and always like, I'm going to go get them today and I'm going to get off the couch right at 9 o'clock and start my calls. It is hard when you have your own business. Maintain long-term focus depends on me staying energized and enthusiastic. And I underline this, everything I do adds energy or depletes it from my life. So that sentence to me speaks volumes of mindset. I can sit there and have a terrible day or hey, I'm gonna go play at the lake today and not do my work. So everything you do has an effect. It can be good or bad.
Yeah, and if you have something in your life that is not bringing you energy, you know, I mean, an example is if real estate zaps all your energy and you're like every day you're miserable, then real estate's probably not what you should be doing, because you should be happy when you sell real. Now, do we have bad days? Yes. Do we have days when things go wrong? Yes. But 80% of what you do should energize you and make you happy. And, you know, and if what you're doing isn't doing that, then, you know, then let's talk and see if we can figure out what is the obstacle there that is not enlightening your day. Because we want it to be wonderful, because it, you know, like Joan said, that she loves what she does. And that's what energizes her and helps her focus. You want to get to that place. And sometimes just being stuck, you know, it's like being in quicksand. And until you pull yourself out of that quicksand and then you have a success, then you're like, oh, I love this now. You know, so it's just, it is. Sometimes it's a love hate, and you just have bad things that will happen in any job. And so you'll have successes and failures. But if you feel like you can't get out of one moment of failure, then you know, let's talk and see if we can pull you out together. And that's what we're here for. Maintain energy and focus, implement the Millionaire Real Estate energy plan, block time before 11 o'clock each day to pull in energy from the following 5 key areas. You know, you want to gain the type of energy for your spiritual, meditate and pray, physical, exercise and eat right, like Jennifer told us earlier, emotional, hug, kiss, and laugh, which has been very hard on everyone because we've been in COVID. And I think people are missing that physical touch. Mental, plan and calendar, and business, lead generate. So try to maintain these things in your life. And if you start getting off that path, remember you've got friends, you know, here. You can call me, you can call anyone on here. You can call, you know, Alice, our team leader, Crystal, Shalaya, Joe. I mean, you just have so many people, Carol Massey, like you have so many people that you can call. And, you know, sometimes they just, you know, they'll just kind of, you know, get you off the cliff. So any questions on this?
I am printing out this little chart right here to gain this type of energy, do these activities, and I'm going to blow it up and I'm going to put it on my wall.
Isn't that great? I'm like,
Yeah.
we just had a conversation about this, and it just, because it really is, it's your mental mindset, you know, to get you there. Because everyone on here is capable of doing amazing things.
And I need to talk to you in private about time blocking.
Okay. Absolutely. You just let me know.
And I started off like my year doing that, like starting off with my time like in Devo and just meditation, and then exercise, and then doing like affirmations and just reading. And then I would start doing like lead generation and the rest of the stuff for the crazy day. But once I started getting busy, I stopped doing that and I filled my day with all the busy stuff, all the client stuff. So it was just like me pouring out, but I wasn't like taking care of myself and pouring into myself. So I got to the point where I was just like exhausted. And actually this week I just sat back down and I made like the energy plan, and it's just been like a complete change. And it's helped me even just pour into my clients more, because I wasn't properly pouring into my clients because I wasn't pouring into my own self. So it really like makes a huge change doing that.
I appreciate you sharing that because, I think, so there's two different types of people. There's one that pours everything into work and they don't separate any time out for themselves. Is that what you're talking about? That you just didn't have enough time?
Yeah, I just fill my day with everything else, like just helping other people, helping my clients, but I instead like neglected myself. And so it's like, then I can't really properly pour into people because at the end of the day, you're just like drained, you're exhausted, you have nothing
Yeah.
left.
You don't have anything left because it can be one way or the other. I mean, I have a weakness there too. Jennifer, is that what you're kind of feeling, that
Yes.
you need to time block
Like
yourself?
just because I need help staying organized, because I can get off task really quickly, and real estate's been mean to me the last 2 weeks. So
It
I'm
has
just
been.
being, it's really, yes. And I just feel like I have really easy, just like, oh, I'm just going to take a day. I can't take a day because every day I don't work is another day. It's one more day before I'm successful. So I can't take a day, but I try to view myself like a well. And if the well isn't getting replenished, the well will run dry. So even with family, with your parents, with your kids, with your church, whatever it is, if you're not getting something back and you just keep giving, you're going to wind up empty.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. And and it's funny because you'll have, like, on one hand, you'll have people that have trouble getting started, and there's a fear factor there, it's its own. Then you have the ones who can't stop, and it's another fear factor. So everything is based off of fear, whether you're succeeding or you're not succeeding. If you're succeeding too much or you're having trouble making your calls, it's all fear-based. And we all have it as human beings. We all have a fear base. And so maybe Joelle and Jennifer and I need to make each other accountable for that weakness that we have, because that's my weakness as well, is when to stop, and you just, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to read this book. My mom gave me this book. It's a little short book. It shouldn't take me that long to read it, because I want to tell her I read it and talk to her about it. I haven't been able to open the book yet because I keep saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tonight. So, I think sometimes having people that are similar in personalities to mentor each other can help. But yes, we will have that conversation.
That would be amazing, because that's what I was saying. I need that accountability for sure. Because you can motivate yourself and stuff for a while, but you definitely need that people that are going to still just like pour into you and just motivate you to keep on going. So that would be great.
And because I'm just know that you can, I'm going to put accountability. I'm making notes. Slow down. Yeah. And I think some of it is organizational too. I mean, I'm sure it is. Some of it's just that thing to where sometimes you just have to have the day that you take off. So I think we can all work on that one together. Joan might need it too.
I have to say something. My favorite bowl law, and I had to look it up because I want to make sure I was saying it right, which I love the most of any of it. The purpose of business is to fund a perfect life. And I think that just says it all,
It is, because if, first of all, I don't think that it's all money motivated. It's part of it's money motivated whenever we don't know when to turn it off, but a lot of it is fear driven and not, maybe you don't think you deserve to have that. Maybe you don't think, who knows what that reason is, but you're right, Joan. Say that bold law one more time.
The purpose of business is to fund a perfect life. That is it,
and if we don't have that perfect life and we don't have a purposeful life, then we need to stop and ask ourselves why. And it doesn't mean you're not in the right business. It just means that you have to stop and focus on what's important and write it down and say, these things are important to me. So,
And
you know, it's
funding
like I have a
perfect life doesn't mean
grandbaby coming.
becoming
Huh?
a millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, funding a perfect life doesn't mean becoming a millionaire necessarily. For different people, it's different things. Like funding a perfect life might be, I just don't want to have to worry about whether my bills are paid, or I want to be able to send my kid to college, or, you know, some people, I want to buy a house at the lake, or I want to buy a house at the beach. But everybody has a different motivator. But yeah, funding that perfect life, like having enough money so that you can be peaceful and relaxed and enjoy and focus on other things other than problems and strife, that's the most important reason to be in business.
I agree with that. And if, you know, if any of us are having trouble with that, then we all need to get together to discuss it, because it is important to help, you know, make each other accountable and say, what have you done fun for yourself today? You know, and I think it's important. I mean, they even, you know, they even said, I was on a webinar with Gary recently, and he's like, every hour for 10 minutes, put it away, get up, take a walk, get something to eat, you know, and don't just sit there, because you're not as productive if you don't get up and you don't release it for a bit. And releasing it does not mean to take your phone with you. It means to let it go, because there's nothing that's going to happen in that 10 minutes, you know, that's going to be the end of the world. So, yep, we will have that accountability. Now, where are we at now? Michelle?
There you go. 411.
Accountability. Speaking of accountability, in the 6 personal perspectives, we learned accountability in a tool for continually changing the results in your life around those that matter most. Your 20% goal achievement is in direct results of accountability. And again, accountability in goal setting is not always about how much money you make. It's not always about your business. It's about your life. And so when you make your goals, which we're going to discuss, and again, we can always go through these more thoroughly in productivity and separate them out and actually do them in class, because that's that we're every day, every week, and every month, and every year. And then a 5-year goal, you need to have goals, but you have to look at your goals every day, because if you're not looking at them, you know, where Joelle and Jennifer are saying that we don't know when to shut it off, you know, then you need to look at your goals and say, what is important? How many vacations do you want this year? Vacations are amazing things to help you. So you need to set up your vacations. And guess what? You're in real estate. You can basically have as many vacations as you want to take. You can have as many days as you want off. You just have to set the goal and to balance it. And when you go on vacation, if you need to have a buddy, you know, that you share, you know, you can have 2 people can be like, when you go on your vacation, I'm going to help you with your stuff. When I go on my vacation, you're going to help me. You have to have somebody help you, because if you don't, you will not have a vacation. And I don't know what it is, but clients can tell when you're on vacation. If you ever have slow business, if you're having trouble with your business growing, go on vacation, because they'll all call you. And they'll all have problems too. So, you know, so the 411 is for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. At Keller Williams, we use the 411 as a productivity tool to reflect the top priorities, the big rocks. You define your weekly, monthly, and annual goals, because your daily activities manifest into your overall results. If you are going to go on vacation, you need to set that up ahead of time with your networking and your, you know, and your calls. Think about it. Do you know that before I go on vacation, this is what I do, because I've learned for 2 weeks before my vacation, I do not make phone calls, because it's like, if I start creating business before I go, no one does anything for those first 2 weeks. It's the 3rd week when you're on vacation is when it starts. I'm not telling you not to do business. Of course, I return people's messages, but I don't do that big full, you know, swing of business, because I know what will happen. But that's part of my goal setting is, you know, how do I do that? Annual goals, you should set aside 1 to 3 days each year to think about and crystallize these 1-year goals. Good example is that Crystal, myself, and Alice and Carol are going to spend 3 days together because we've got to create our goals, you know, for 2022. And we do this every year. And get clear on your big rocks, those 5 to 7 key goals you must achieve in order to feel that you have had a successful year. It does not, I'm going to repeat it again. It's not all about money. It's not all about business. A successful year, but you need to write down what's important to you. So your job, business, personal, financial. Look at the personal. What do you desire to have happen personally? Health, family, spiritual, education. You know, I think it's an amazing thing because, you know, before Keller Williams, I mean, I can honestly tell you this, I didn't know that my personal goals had anything to do with anything. I never had a personal goal. I just worked all the time. I thought that's what goals were. It was the first time in my life that someone ever said the word that you have to time block your personal life. So that's something that you're going to have to learn how to do. And we'll do it together. I'm really glad y'all brought that up. Monthly goals. Michelle, you want to handle the monthly and weekly?
Yep, I'll do it. You should set aside 1 to 3 hours each month to rethink and further refine your monthly goals. Focus on your methods of achievement. How will you position yourself in pursuit with your annual goals? Begin by breaking your annual goals down into their monthly increments. In addition, write down the key activity goals that will lead to those monthly results. When deciding your monthly goals, remember to put first things first. Any goal that other goals hinge on would have higher priority. You should have no more than 5 to 7 monthly goals. Do not plan any more than 1 month ahead.
So can we talk about that a little bit? Isn't it nice to have something in writing? Because when people are like, get your goals, you know, put your goals in, you're like, how many goals are you supposed to have? It's nice that it's just, they tell you exactly how many goals you should have and not to exceed it.
Right.
So, anyone have any questions on the monthly goals? All right, Michelle.
All right, weekly goals. You should set aside a half to 1 hour each week to form goals for the coming week. Weekly goals are levelers, actions or activities. Levelers are those goals that are the mechanisms or how-tos of achievement. For example, I will contact 10 people each day. These weekly goals are the steps you will take toward your monthly and annual goals. Levelers are the means to the ends. Again, your weekly goals are not a to-do list, but rather a have-to-do list. Decide what you need to do that week to achieve your monthly goals. Again, remembering to put first things first. Limit your number of weekly goals to 6 to 8 key measurable activities. Remember that. Teresa will touch on that, right, Teresa? Measurable activities. Locate the 411 on mykw.kw.com under resources.
So, you know, I think what it's trying to tell you is that when you have goals and you have things set up, if you have too many, I'm bad about having too many. If y'all saw my calendar, you would just cringe. You'd be like, seriously, like, you know, because there's not one moment to breathe on there. And then I've got 3 things at the same time. That is a bad calendar because it just means that I have too much on there and on my plate. So, you know, when you set yours up, you know, if you put too many things, then maybe some things won't get done or they won't get done right. So make sure when you put them on there that they're attainable goals. I mean, putting them on there and nothing happening doesn't do you any good. So I'd rather you have 3 goals and do it than have 25 goals and nothing gets done because you will get overwhelmed. And I think that's a little bit about the time blocking and the management of your life and your business. So
To add to that, Teresa, sometimes, when you set those goals too, it's okay to, it says to do this many days, go back and revisit. That's because you might need to tweak it, so to speak, tweak your goal. Or if you have a goal of, I want to have so many calls a day, and you realize maybe you're just starting, or something in the market happens, or you get really busy and you're like, okay, I can't do those 10 to 20 calls daily because I'm showing. Then you have to revisit those goals and say, okay, I'll do 10 a day instead of 20. Or maybe I need to make Wednesday because I know Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday I have appointments, or whatever. So it's okay to revisit them for that reason.
And don't get frozen and do none because you can't do 20.
Yeah.
You're better off to do 5 than do none. So don't let it, I don't know. We all do it. It's like, what is my biggest weakness in the entire world besides not knowing when to stop working? Is chocolate. I love freaking sugar, And so if you slip up and you eat a little bit of sugar, that's okay. It doesn't mean you eat the whole bag because you already messed up and ate one candy bar. But it's just that same thing that we have inside of us that makes us, react to things. And, and it's typically something, something in there that's bigger than what it is, so don't just give up. Even if you've had a month that you've been like, I really sucked this month. I haven't been doing what I was supposed to do. And I haven't, my thing is around Thanksgiving time, I don't know what it is. I don't want to work during it. I just can't figure it out what happens to me in the fall. I think because I'm exhausted from, spring and summer, but, I can't just be like, oh, well, I didn't really do much lead generating for 2 weeks. So therefore, all of 2022 is just over. I might as well do nothing, and you just have to wrap your head back around it and say, okay, that time was that, but now it's time to move forward. So if you can't ever find me around Thanksgiving, it's just because I really don't want to talk to anybody. It's my off time, but don't let it hold you back, get back up on the horse and keep going. What is that one?
Teresa,
yeah.
I just wanted to tell you, I had a really rough fall. Like I closed a bunch of houses over the summer into October. And then from October, November, December, January, nothing. And then I started up again. It was crazy. I don't know what happened, but it really helped to just get your brain wrapped around it and say, you know what, I can't look back and get upset about it.
I think you had double pneumonia, Krista.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
But you are right, because I know that there were times we talked, you're like, I don't know what's wrong, but but give yourself a break. Now, if you go a whole year and you don't work, there's probably a little problem there. You gotta look a little deeper in it. But often it might be because you did have a good year and you're just tired. You know, I mean, we all get tired and wore out physically and mentally, and we need a break. So don't beat yourself up. But you're right, Krista. But then you just capped. I'm like, hello.
Yep.
So
hey, Krista, I totally get you. I feel like we're so similar on stuff.
We are.
I did the same thing in my last 2 deals last year. Both of them fell apart right at the end of the year.
Yep.
And then I was like just exhausted, and but I mean, it can be rough out there, but if you just keep it going, and know what I mean, I'm happiest when I'm really busy and have a lot going on.
Oh, me too.
That's when I'm my happiest.
Yeah. And I will tell you, it really got me into a depression. And so you have to just kick yourself and figure out how to get back on the saddle.
Teresa can tell you, she's heard me mope and moan. She was like, Trey, making your calls. I'm like, no, I mean, it's my own fault. It's my own business, but I let it dwindle down, and I lost my last 2 deals last year due to, financing or whatever. And I got down on myself, and then picking that phone back up and making those calls and doing all that. Like I'm starting to, I'm seeing results, but it doesn't happen overnight. So you have to do it, so that's my own fault.
It really is. Hey, is Vanessa still on here? She's probably like, I don't know if I want to sell real estate now. I mean, Jennifer, do you mind me sharing yours a little bit? Your bad week. I mean, Jennifer literally had a client right before closing decided they didn't want to buy their house. They decided they didn't
no.
want to buy it. You know, no reason, no nothing.
No reason.
Yeah, just don't want to. And you know, and those are the times when you're like, crap, this just sucks. You know, it sucks the life out of you to see this. And I think that's kind of what Trey and Krista are saying. They had some things that happened that just made them shut down, you know, and it's amazing though how as frustrating as it can be. You know, I hate those nights where you lose sleep over something, you know, and you're like, great, I can't sleep because of this or that. And you know, you go to bed thinking about it, it goes in your mind at night, and then in the morning you still have it to deal with. But it does move forward. It just does. It'll go away. The sun will come out again and you're like, wow, I feel better. But there are times when you feel like it's not going to, you know. So I think that that's what's so important, you know, and having all of us together, because when you're together, you just don't feel so alone out there. And
it's really important too to just keep that mindset. Again, mindset is everything. Meet your goals, see your goals, have that vision, because I just had 3 when I'm doing my follow-up, and I had 3 people. 2 decided to rent, 2 others decided that they were going to buy land and build, and they went ahead and just bought a for sale by owner land. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all this work I've done for the last 6 months gone, you know. So you
Krista,
just
I'm
have
so
to
sorry
pick-
that happened to you, but I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I'm so happy to hear that it happened to you.
Yes,
Because I feel
exactly.
like right now, I feel like I'm the only person in the world. I mean, I've been working with these people since January and they're just like, sorry, we changed our mind. We're not doing this anymore. I'm like,
oh, I've been working with mine since August.
see, I feel so much better. Thank you so much for telling
You're
us.
welcome,
Yeah, hey,
Jennifer. We
it
can share
happens-
the
It
pain.
happens to all of us. It happens to all of us,
but
guys.
you feel like it's you. And that's what you have to realize. Yeah, we can make mistakes. I mean, it can be us at times, but really it's not you. I mean, there are some crazy people out there. And there are also circumstances that things are happening, you know, and it's just hard when you think you have a closing coming up and all of a sudden you don't have a closing coming up, you know, or somebody
Yeah.
loses their job. I mean, your people lost their mind.
Funny.
You
They
know.
turned into different
Mhm.
people overnight. I don't know what happened to them, but I never really thought it was me. Like I knew I wasn't the problem because I was supposed to do. I didn't take it personally. I was just upset that it happened, but I understood that it wasn't about me, you know?
Mhm.
And then of course,
Well, you're
it's
cutting
funny
out.
how these things happen to me, but every time I sat and thought, you know, I don't know if real estate's for me, I would get a text from somebody else I'm working with that told me what a great realtor I am, or thank you so much for helping me with this, or we don't know where we would be without you, or whatever. And so every single, literally, I would sit and think, I'm not sure if this is for me. My phone would ding and somebody would tell me, yes, this is for you.
Those
You
are
know?
God's
Jennifer?
graces.
Quit
Those are
feeling
his
sorry for
graces.
yourself.
Jennifer, I don't know
Yeah.
you very well, but I know you enough to know that real estate is for you. And it's a hard business, but there's no cap on what you can do. And, you know, I worked for a family business for 23 years and made a salary and did fine and paid my bills. And when I got into real estate, when I really put my mind to it, I mean, there's so many opportunities out there, and you work hard. The harder you work, the more you make. And it's very rewarding, you know, and the ones that fall apart, I feel like there's blessings that always show up after the fact that are, you know, the ones that are like, oh, that was an easy sale. Nobody likes to say that, but you know, the harder your butt gets kicked, sometimes there's good things that come out of that. And you're like, okay, this is why I did this.
I've learned an immeasurable amount of things. Immeasurable. So yeah, I'm grateful to God that it happened. And I prayed that I was thankful that it happened. So I wanted to make sure that the universe knew that I knew that, that this was a lesson for me, and to not take it personally, take the information and move forward.
That's right.
And it's all you can do, you know, but it's sometimes they're the gift that keeps giving. You're just like, oh my gosh, can these just go away? So if y'all could just, you know, you have this sheet in here, you know, it tells you what to do, you know, with your goals, gives you some ideas, you know, of what you need to do. Does everyone have this sheet right here? Is it on there, Michelle?
Page 18. Mhm.
Page 8. Why? Oh, this one does say page 18. I feel like half of them aren't the same page. So pull this out. I mean, I feel like some of these are good. And you know what I do? I actually scan and upload these things into Dotloop where I can type in them, and I have them like labeled like my personal file or my marketing file, or, so, just try to, keep them right there, put them on your mirror, like you said, just so that you make sure you do them. So what's our next?
The last page on this group is the MREA models, leveraging. It's like a quick little little fundamental model.
I'm going to do these models at productivity.
All
You
right.
guys okay with that? Oh, here's one right here though that's kind of funny. On my goals, revisit your goals. Let's do these at I want these to do these in person because I feel like it's easier, because we're getting ready to get into math things and formulas and stuff like that, and I just think it's going to be easier if we do it when we're together and we can walk around and look at everything.
Yep. I think you'll skip in the revisit your goals because the math and stuff goes with that.
Yeah,
page
exactly.
20.
So one thing we can talk about real quickly though is the evaluate your wins and opportunities, self-reflect your actions. I feel like this has a little bit to do with what we've been talking about. What wins have you experienced in the last 4 weeks? What opportunities for improvement have you encountered? This is really what Jennifer was talking about. What kinds of leads are you getting, seller, buyer? What are the quality of the leads you've been getting? How quickly you're able to convert them? As CEO of you, rate your performance using a scale of 1 to 5. What will you do differently moving forward? So basically it's like, okay, we've learned from, things that maybe we weren't excelling at, to do them differently. And share and collaborate or celebrate success. Share with the class how you've been. So these are things that I would like for y'all to do for our productivity again, because, some of this was homework, and I want us to go over our wins. And I feel like we kind of have done this, through this class, but really focus on it and write those down, because I think you're going to find out you have more wins than you even think that you do. But yeah, the conversion rate, you mean that part?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do this in productivity too. I'm leaving this entire thing out so that we can work on it together. And so we can move forward in that.
Skip that.
So then we're going to go to the commit to growth through continual learning and improvements. These are some commitments that I think you should make. If you haven't read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, the MREA, read it. If you have read it, read it again. So, I think the book is just so important. There's also the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. I would love for us to create, I think it'd be easier on Zoom, like an hour a month, even book club, because we could read, like, say, we're going to read one chapter and discuss the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Does anyone have interest in that? It's kind of a little bit different than the other. And for
I love that idea.
And for us to be able to retire, one day, I think the investment part is important. And I think sometimes people don't know that they can make an investment, or they don't know how to do it. And for anyone, at the lake, that's like the best place in the world as an investment, because, and COVID has made it even better because everyone wants to rent at the lake. And you can get daily rentals. So, what do y'all think that we could do on that, as far as, do you think the investor book would be a good one? And I have not read it yet, so it kind of is exciting for me. Do y'all like the idea of the real estate investor?
I'm down to read a book.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Then let's.
I would read both.
Hang on, somebody's cutting out. What'd you say?
I said I would read both, either way. I'm
Okay.
good. Either one.
And then we have the shift book too. So eventually what we could do is we could go through all of them. Y'all, we can start with any of them, because they're going to have similar things throughout. So you guys take a vote. Which one do you want to start with? The MREA or the MREI?
MREA.
I
Okay.
think MREA would be maybe better for most people, just
Okay.
especially new people.
Then let's do that, and we'll create a book club. And I mean, we might be able to do even an hour, every other week, but we'll just do it by chapter, because I feel like if we read a chapter and we know we're going to discuss it, we're going to pay attention to our chapter more, and we're going to focus on what we're reading, and then we can go over it and find out what all of us gathered from that. So that's going to be on our list of things, and I'm making my note. And it's amazing when you do things together, how much more you get out of it. And, we can mentor each other. And these are just commitments. I will attend family reunion and mega camp and Ignite Again and Bold when it comes to my area. I will take technology training offered in my market center. We don't have to worry about that. Everybody takes it from Shalaya. There's never a lacking of Shalaya time. So let's just start with that, because I feel like if we do too much, then, we won't do anything. So we're just going to stick with that. So we are almost finished and graduated. Our script off. Let me see what time it is. Okay, I'm good. This is something that I have not read this one yet. Who wants to read this? The first one.
Do you mean read out loud, Teresa? I think they missed that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I think they missed read out loud.
Oh, yeah. Not to yourselves, out loud.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, volunteer. Vanessa, you look like you want to do it.
I was getting ready to pull her in too.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm here,
Double team-
sorry.
we're double teaming you, Vanessa.
Nice. Hello, I'm new to real estate.
Hang on. Do you think she
The
really?
script would be,
Wait a minute. Start
Am I
over
cutting
at
out?
number one. You
Yeah.
froze.
You did.
am I cutting out?
We
Yeah.
got you now.
You got me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I said, hello, I'm new to real estate. I need to think about, I'm one of those people that I have to write things down. And it's that I can't do the fly.
All right. You're cutting out, so you're lucky.
I'm cutting out.
Who else?
Sorry.
Who's been quiet on here? Let's see. Jennifer, are you still on here?
I'm here.
I'm talking about Jennifer Moore.
Shows her.
Is Kathy?
Yes,
on
I'm here.
All right, Kathy and Paul, y'all better get ready. You want to read the number one, since Vanessa is going in and out?
Yes, it says, hello, I'm new to real estate.
Keep going.
That's all it says.
No.
Yeah, that's all it says.
That's why, because mine and Michelle's has something else. I was like,
Maybe that's why I was cutting it out.
oh my gosh, that's hilarious. You quit talking.
She
Wow.
she didn't cut out. She was just done.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was done. That's all it says.
All right. So,
thing.
everybody's like, what's the rest?
Yeah, where's the script?
You have the teacher version.
That's hilarious. Okay, I'll read this part since it's like in secret ink. Hello, this is Teresa Grant. Do you have a moment? I'd like to share the exciting news that I've become a real estate agent with Keller Williams. This new partnership, I have all their knowledge working for me, plus my clients get all my enthusiasm and hard work. I thought about sharing this with you because I knew you would be someone to help me grow my business. That is for someone who's new in real estate or who has changed brokerages, like Vanessa, like you changed brokerage.
No, I'm new.
Oh, I thought you did. We're at another brokerage, but it's actually,
I know nothing about real estate.
oh my
You're
goodness.
teaching me everything.
So you are brand new.
Yes.
So this is like a perfect script, which, by the way, as you read it and read it and read it, you're going to sound more natural. but I guess we should get this to y'all. I don't know why that it's on here like a big mystery. So I'll go ahead and read these. So the second one is, and I'm going to send these to you guys because I don't know why that they're invisible ink on yours. The other one is download the KW app. This is what you're going to say. I'd like to share my real estate app with you. You can see what's going on anywhere from your street to any place in North America. It's free and there's no cost to you. I can send you a text so you can link to it. Does that sound good? You can pretty much, when you share your app with people, like if somebody calls me and they're asking about something, I usually send a little blurb like that, because I think it's important, you know, to let people know what it is. Because the more people that have your app, the more people that download it and the more people that have your face. And, you know, and I didn't know how to use the new app when it first came out. And now that I use it, I'm like, oh, this thing's great. It really does work. We'll have to have an app class because it's pretty cool. Because no matter where you are, you know, if you're in a subdivision and you want to see if there's anything else for sale around you, like at an open house, all you have to do is just click the location and it shows the location where you are, where you're standing, and it'll show every house available around it. So if you're going to ask for a referral, you know, hi, I'd like to ask, who might you know from work, your neighborhood, or a group you belong to who's interested in buying or selling a home or investing in real estate? Can you think of anyone right now? Thanks for taking a moment to think about it. If you do hear of someone with a real estate need, you promise to keep me in mind. I mean, these are just simple things, but as you do them yourself, they're going to feel more natural. I'm going to find out, Joelle, was it Joelle that wanted to know if we had a script on door knocking?
Yes, that's correct.
So let me see.
That and expired leads would be great too. Sorry, not expired leads, but expired homes.
So I do have a for sale by owner too, to
Yeah, that would be good too.
to let you come see their house. Good morning. My name is Teresa Grant with Keller Williams Realty, and I noticed your home is for sale. As a real estate customer service expert, I'd like to keep up with the inventory in the area so I know what kind of buyers to bring. Would you be offended if I came over to view your home? I promise I won't ask you for your listing. The reason for my call is not to list your home. I would simply like to put the home on my for sale by owner inventory list. Would today at 3 o'clock or tomorrow at 1 work better for you? So you notice how this is like a back doorway in. So what happens if that for sale by owner lets you come look at their home, and say what happens when they're ready to list their home? Who do they know? They know you. Secondly, you really will have it on your for sale by owner inventory list because we're short on inventory. Not to mention, while you're there, if you don't ask them, you'd be surprised how many questions they'll start asking you. And at that time, you can offer to do an open house for them as well. And if you ever want to do an open house for sale by owner, you have to call me first because there are some rules with that. Let me see. I will. Hey, is Shalaya gone?
I'm still here.
Are you here? Would you? You're not here. Never mind. You're not really here. You're here, but you're not here. I'm gonna send this. I'll send this over and have these sent out to everybody and scanned. You're out of state, aren't you?
Yeah.
Poor Shalaya. Let's see if there's one for, what was it? The one that you wanted?
She wanted expired. I don't see that.
Oh yeah, expired. I've seen some like online because I think like Tom Ferry has his.
We have some. So we have some really good ones. Hang on, making a list. So
and
you wanted you want door knocking script?
Yeah, I want it all.
You just want script. Okay.
I would like them as well.
And we can do this and do them in productivity. We can do that too. You know, the thing about the scripts is there's some that I love and some that I don't, but the ones that are good are good. Like, I mean, when it's a good script, but I want you to remember, I don't care if you have to read this script in front of a mirror 100 times. you know, do you remember when you were a kid and you had to learn Bible verses and, you know, you had to learn things in school and little songs? It needs to be like that. It needs to be in your head to where when someone has an objection, it automatically flows off your tongue. And, you know, because if it doesn't flow off your tongue, it means you haven't read it enough times. I mean, you can't take a script. Look, Jennifer's talking. She's talking to somebody. Look, I thought she was talking to me. So you can't have the script in front of you. So you're going to have to learn the script. And, but yeah, I will send these
Sorry,
out.
I was yelling at my child.
You're okay. It's funny. Like here's a pricing objection. You know, let's listen to this one for a second. Michelle, you have it in front of you, right?
Yes, which one? Sorry, I was trying to see if we hadn't, to look back, they have some door knocking scripts, but anyway, which one do you need?
Do number 7, pricing objection.
All right, yep, pricing objection. Can we price it a little higher and come down later? So the answer, option 1, here's what frightens me about the pricing it higher. People who have seen many houses will find yours, but they won't look at it because of the price. We don't want to drive buyers away. We want to attract buyers. We want them to make offers. Does that make sense? Option 2 that you could come back with that question would be, the greatest number of showings comes in the first 3 weeks. If they see the house is overpriced, they'll walk away and we don't get them back. Let's get 1 or more people to make an offer right away. If multiple buyers like your price, they might even compete and drive it higher. Wouldn't that be great?
And that is tried and true because we've all been beaten up on price before. And what happens is when that situation arises, they forget that you told them that. And believe me, they will forget. And then all of a sudden you're a bad realtor. And then they don't understand, like they might have 20 people come through their home and they don't understand why they haven't gotten an offer, and that will be your fault too. But, you know, I always tell people that if you've had 10 people through your home in the first 2 weeks and you haven't gotten an offer, then it's either location, the house, or it's priced wrong. You know, and if you've had it on the market for a week and you haven't had that many showings or an offer, then again, it's price, location, or the house. Because if the house is going to sell, it will sell. And you can fight that all day. I mean, I have one right now. It's ridiculous. Like, you know, he's had offer after offer after offer, and they're all the same price, but he still hasn't figured out that it's the price of his house. So, you know, and some people will never learn. You know, we also have a seller objection. We need an agent with more experience. And this is if you're new. And then you can say, well, Keller Williams is different. I'm a partner with others in my office. We share in the profit of our office. When one makes money, it benefits the rest of us too. So I have lots of motivated agents and with many years experience working for you. Is there any other agent? Is there anything another agent said they would do that for some reason I forgot to mention? Did I cover everything you expected to hear? Sounds like you believe I can get your home sold. So let's move ahead now. Because sometimes when you're new, like you will get more objections. I want you guys, when you're newer, to remember that you have a whole office that's going to be marketing and listing your house, because we allow, you know, our agents to market other agents' homes. So when they say that, you tell them, when you hire me as your agent, you're getting, you know, between 100 and 110 realtors on your side. And I think it really does help, you know, now that we're going to start networking our listings together, because you can also tell them, you know, that before it goes live, you were going to share it with the other agents in the office. So there, it's not that difficult. Now, I personally, when I got my license, didn't go in and tell everybody I was brand new, you know, but they might ask you, you know, and they might say, you know, well, you know, what did you do prior to now? And, you know, but typically if they feel secure with you, they're not going to feel that way. And just remember that you do work for, you do work for them. But we'll go ahead and get some of these other ones. And I'm trying to see if there, see some other good ones in here, Michelle.
Let's see.
I see a good one.
Non-essential recommended.
How about number 8?
Working with buyers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a good one, I think, for a couple reasons. You may do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so you're working with buyers, and the buyer, they tell you, I don't have time to come to the office. Can you just meet me at the house? So what we would say, because your time is so valuable, that's exactly why we need to get together at the office. See, the 25 minutes we're going to spend at the office is literally going to save you 5 to 10 hours of looking at houses. When we get together at the office, I'll be able to pull up every property that matches your specific criteria. We'll be able to view the photos and virtual tours in my office before taking your time to drive by them, or even better than that, spending your gas to drive by them. So when is the best time to come to the office? Is it weekends or weekdays? We will also be able to see if there are any contingencies or other issues that will not be apparent by just doing a tour. If there is something that would eliminate the home, better to know up front. So basically you're doing your you want to convince them that research could help, because like I said, the contingency, you may read in the private remarks, basement leaks during heavy rain, or needs, it could be needs flood insurance, and you've already given them a reason not to go see that one, which saves your time and theirs.
So, because we are in a market that is very tight, and because they may have 1 hour look at that house before it's sold with multiple offers, you could also do this over the phone. But I'm going to give you an example. So today somebody called when I was on my Zoom call, and I shot a text back and I said, I'm sorry, I'm on a call. Can I call you right back? He's like, sure. So I call him back, and he's like, by the way, he was calling on that house. It's overpriced. Everybody calls on it. And, and he said, can you get me in to see the house? He goes, I'm going to look at another one at 1, but I can do it after that. And I said, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. I said, who are you looking at the house with? He said, well, I've just been calling the listing agent on every sign. So I said, do you have, 5 minutes? I said, can we just talk for a minute so I can get to know you and understand what you're looking for? And so he's like, yeah, sure. And so I explained to him that he needs to have a buyer's representation. He needs to have his own buyer's agent. I said, you are actually calling the listing agent, and you are not going to get proper representation because they represent the seller. And I said, but once you go in that house, you have to use them if you want to make a purchase. So at that point, I talked to him about, I said, have you spoken with a lender? He actually is very well qualified, I think, because he's coming here for a pretty big job offer, but he's a first-time home buyer. Not one agent that has shown, he's looked at 5 houses, and not one agent had that conversation with him. So now I have his email. I'm going to set him up. I sent him the lender. I said, get yourself pre-approved, because he didn't even know the difference between USDA, VA, conventional, and FHA. He didn't know anything about them. And in certain areas, you can't do USDA. So he didn't know any of this because no one had educated him. So he's already responded back to me once today after he looked at it, and he's already contacting. So the point is I took the time to ask the questions. First of all, don't jump in your car and run out there to your listing until you've had that conversation. I was gentle with him because I knew he didn't know and he didn't understand, but I think he appreciated it. I know he's got a min pin, I know what he's getting ready to do for a living. I know that he wants a little bit of a yard. He doesn't want a townhome, so I know everything that this guy wants pretty much because I asked the questions instead of running down there to open my door. So just remember that even if you can't go to the office and do the interview, or for whatever reason, because of time restraints, get the interview with these people. And, before you ever meet them. And a lot of the reason why they say go to the office is for safety reasons too. But, once you have their phone number, their name, their email and they're giving it to you freely, it'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable, you know? So that was just kind of my story today, you know, where I just wasn't going to run out there and show them a property. But typically it's not because they're being jerks and they just don't want to settle on an agent. It's because they really have no idea.
Yeah.
And if you're ever meeting a buyer and you're showing them a property, you must have the conversation with them, because if you don't have the conversation about buyer representation, they're not being bad when they go back on Zillow or whatever and they Google another place. You have to tell them, say, look, if you see anything at all, I'm going to put you on auto prospecting, but if you see anything at all, I want you to call or text this number. And then I'll send them a text and I'll be like, this is Teresa. It was so nice talking to you. You know, are there any extra bullet points? Because if you don't say that, they're going to put their butts right back on there and they're going to get another agent. And it's just because they don't know, you know. I mean, think about when you bought your first house, you had no idea. Nobody knew, you know, what the protocol was. So just remember to always set that up so that they know to contact you. And don't wait for them. You contact them and you put them on auto prospecting immediately, because they're going to start getting your emails. And once they start getting your emails, they don't need Zillow anymore. So these are just a couple of them. You guys have any questions? We will be sending these over to you. So guys, do y'all want to talk about any ahas or information that you've learned or discuss? I know we pretty much discuss as we go, but
There's been a lot to learn in this session. This has been one of the better ones I've had the opportunity to sit in on. I took tons of notes.
good.
And I have a problem. I have a problem with handling the business on the front end. I'm the one that jumps in my car, meets them at the house, and then calls them after the fact to gossip and giggle about how great the house was. And then I bring up everything, like right to rep and all the things. But I mean, it's better to have it up front.
It
You don't
is.
waste anyone's time.
It is. And you know what? It's okay if they call you and it is a specific one. And, you know, the main thing is just make sure they're not working with anyone else, and make sure you say ahead of time. I mean, I really don't shove a buyer's agreement in somebody's face in the first 5 seconds that I'm on the phone. But I always have the conversation, you know, now that we've spoken, and I'll make a joke. I'm like, when we meet at that house, you know, whether you like the house or not, you know, I need to know if you like me, because if you like me, I'd like to continue working together, you know, or if we like each other. And then I laugh, like it makes them laugh, you know, they don't mind signing something when they think it's funny. And then they even feel stupid without signing it, because I said, if you like me, and then they're like, crap, if I don't sign it, I'm just telling her I don't like her. So it's a little bit of a reverse psychology, you know, but have that conversation with them. So you guys, congratulations, have passed Ignite. But you're still stuck with us, because now you get to go to productivity with us. So, you know, I hope all you guys will. And I know we have a couple of people on here that weren't in productivity, but I hope, you know, you guys were joined, because you're going to be on the email and text. So.
Well, I've learned a lot and I appreciate everything.
Well, we're going to, hey, and Vanessa would love to do open houses with people.
Yes, I will do any open house.
And you know, maybe what we should do is everyone contact a for sale by owner and use that script. And before we meet for productivity, which I'll be sending that list out, before we do that way everyone has gone in and looked at a for sale by owner home. And you know, if they do decide to list, I think they feel like you're not lazy because you went out there. You know,
Are you sending us the scripts?
Yep. I will send you the
Great.
scripts.
I already have a for sale by owner. I want to talk to a guy.
Yep. I will send them over. Michelle, how many pages of scripts do you have? I feel like I lost some.
For this one, I had 3.
All right. I'll find the scripts.
It was 29, 30, and 31. 3 pages for this one.
Okay. I've lost it. I'll find it. Yep, I will send them over to you guys. Hey, Shalai, is Shalaya still here?
Yes.
Are you ready to go?
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
like, are you? Jeez.
All
Somebody
right.
has to teach Salaya how to act happy, how to act like she's enthused.
She's on
That is
vacation.
Shalaya enthused.
Yes.
She's on
Yes.
vacation. She needs to move on.
Yep, she needs to move on. She's like, oh my gosh, are y'all finished yet? All right, we're done.
Teresa,
I'll find that other one.
Wait, Teresa, can I mention about the poker run real quick for everybody?
Yes,
In case
you
they're interested. I'm sorry. The poker run is coming up. It's a big, huge event, been going on for 26, 27 years at the lake. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically people that get in their boats and sign up as a captain and participants to win $5,000 at the lake. And they go to 7 different marinas on a Saturday. And it's a really huge, wonderful party. And if you want to look it up, or if you want to call me, that's fine. But the website is Smith Mountain Lake Boating Association, which is shortened up to SMLBA for Boating Association, SMLBA. And we need sponsors. We're looking for participants. We pretty much have all the volunteers right now. But if you just want to come on a weekend, it's May 22nd. And if you go to any of the marinas at the lake, they're going to have a party. So it's a fun time if you just want to meet people, join in, have a good time. You could have lunch at a marina someplace around the lake. But Crazy Horse Marina is the main marina on Saturday that we are all going to be at, where the boats are taking off from and coming back to.
Where are you going to be again, Joan?
I'm going to be at Crazy Horse Marina all day.
Awesome.
I'm kind of in charge of the volunteers, but
What's the date? Because I put it on my thing.
yeah, it's May 22nd.
May 22nd.
And they'll have breakfast in the morning and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really fun day. Another great place, of course, would be like the Virginia Dare, where Beacon Pub is, and Crystal Shores, and I mean, all the rest of them. They're all going to be having, there's about 7 marinas that are going to be involved. Mariners will not be involved this year. They decided because of COVID not to be.
Okay, bummer. So what times it start?
The actual takeoff of the boats is right around 11 o'clock.
Are you going to be there then?
Yeah, I'll be there at 9 in the morning. Yeah, I'll be there.
So we can just go join you?
Yeah, that'd be great. It'll be fun.
And what's the cost again to get in?
There's no, well, if you're a sponsor, you get free tickets. If you have a boat with a couple million people on your boat, you get tickets as part of being a captain. So just look at the SMLBA stuff online and call me if you have questions, but it's going to be a really fun party. It's going to be fun.
Could we load in as a group on a boat and do it together as a team?
Yes. Yes.
Krista, hey, yeah, we have some captains here. Michelle.
No, not on a busy weekend. No. I'll go on a boat. No, I'll go.
You don't want to drive on a boat in a busy weekend?
No, I don't go on 4th of July. I don't go no events. But somebody else could. I'll go right on your boat.
I actually don't like to do it on busy weekends either, but I like to go and hang out.
I'll go hang out. Just the lake. I mean, last year, everything is just crazy. So.
I mean, it can.
Hate to be that, but
because if you want to
live
drink, you
here,
can get in trouble.
When you live here, you realize. But I will go hang out and support. Yes.
Well, let me just say it's for nonprofit, which is basically boat safety and fire rescue is where all the money goes. So
yeah.
No, we'll go play with you, Joan.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a deal.
We're happy
I'll
to.
be there too.
All right.
I volunteered many years ago.
But sponsors.
So Joe just hasn't picked my marina, I guess, yet.
Well, we aren't that organized this year because we really didn't know until yesterday that we we're going to do it for sure because of COVID. But we're all set, so we're going forward with it. And so if you have any questions, just give me a call, but it's all for nonprofit, fire rescue, boat safety, and that type of thing. So thanks, guys.
Great.
It's a blast, guys. You will love it. It's really huge.
Now we'll go play with you. All right.
Yes,
everyone,
we will.
Have a good one. I'll send something out on our next productivity. And we'll
Thank
get it
you.
on the books and we'll start going through all this. And I will send y'all the script.
This was fabulous. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you. Thanks for participating and congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see. Get this. Where's the old leave the thing at?
I can't get out of it.
I can't either. I keep going, where's the,
Oh, there it is. Bye.
bye. There we go.
No, you're still there.
Hold
We're
on,
still
I
here.
just found it.
What the hell? Okay.